Yo, what is up, my friends? Holy... I've been pacing back and forth this house for like the last hour, and I've been contemplating making a video for like the last 4 or 5 months. I just keep spinning around and around and around. My life has gone through so many changes in the last couple of years since I've been making regular videos. Like, my life was like completely flipped upside down. Is that the quick way I can the easiest way I can describe it? I've went through hell and back, and I'm still here. I am divorced. I went through like this insanely deranged, dysfunctional, the worst case scenario, the most expensive, like ridiculous, over the top, psychotic divorce. It was a nightmare. I had thought about wanting to like talk about like this experience, like being married, being in this relationship for nearly 14 years. It was just like I never would have saw this coming. Like the first 5-6 years, it was like a fairy tale. It was so sappy and cheesy and like perfect, and then after a couple of kids came out, it all turned hell, man. I'm not gonna really talk. I don't want to talk shit about my ex-wife, because maybe one day my kids might want to watch this, and but I will talk about like what the hell is going on with me, and basically I had to file for divorce. Something was done in the marriage where you went past the point of no return, and you just couldn't go back. And she didn't cheat on me, but at least not that I knew of, but I don't think she cheated on me. She did this way worse. You know what I mean? I would have rather have been cheated on than what the shit that I had to go through with this woman. I had those of you like the hardcore, my subscribers that have been with me for years. When I used to make videos with the little Fisher-Price camera, and I had like a $5 microphone, and I've come such a long way with making these bootleg videos to like putting together nice product reviews and stuff. At least I thought they were nice. But what was I trying? I'm gonna be bouncing around here. Like, dude, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know how to make a comeback. I don't know if this is even right to like. I've been wanting to make a video for so long. I've been wanting to just to like throw in my 2 cents on like so many different things. I still would like to talk about video games and skateboards and but what I really want to get more into is just like men, like meaning like what it's like to be a man in 2025. Guys in their 40s, 50s, and 30s. What's expected of you, the ups and downs, with how society perceives, strong, masculine men. Society seems to have like some kind of like real serious problem with that. That's like a threat to civilization, apparently. Modern civilization, a strong, confident, masculine man. Can't have that. But anyway, I like to talk about, stuff like that. I like to talk about, like life hacks, general health, dating. What's it like to date on these dating apps? Holy shit, do I have some stories to share. Hellish stories, crazy encounters. Stayed there until the divorce. I had to sell my house and everything, and that house was mine. Like, I bought that house when I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007. I bought it with my mother. It was a legal 2-family. I used to rent up top and have the whole main, the main floor in the basement, which was my game room and the little YouTube studio. And then, years later, I met my wife. We got married. I was 10 years older than her, so I was way more established. She was 23, I was 33. And, I helped her get my mother helped her get her first job. I bought her first car. And when I married her, I put her name on the deed. Fast forward 10 years later, she gets half, and the cost of living in New York. I scrambled to take the sale of the house. I had to clean. It was a nightmare. Over $100,000 in legal fees, just to fight this woman for my basic fatherhood rights. She was trying to keep my kids from me, trying to paint this narrative that I got some kind of animal. Used my my combat veteran PTSD status as like a stigma to manipulate the court system like a pro. But like I said, I don't want to talk shit because my kids may watch this one day. I'm just like 2.5 years of therapy has helped a lot of self-reflection. Anyway, I just keep bouncing around here. I don't even know where I'm going. But anyway, the house. So yeah, I had to sell the house. She got half, and I had to scramble to be able to find a piece of property in New York. Because I don't know if many of you follow current events, follow politics and whatnot, but like that whole Biden administration with the open borders, New York was a sanctuary state, and millions of illegals flooded into New York City, which caused like this like earthquake or like tsunami wave where people were fleeing the city and coming to Long Island where I live. So it just the housing market shot up like a friggin' like a black plague. Everything became like ridiculously overpriced. My own property. Through the 2 years I was separated and we were working, like having to fight this woman in court every month at like $500 an hour. Did this for like 2 years straight. I had to like drain my 401k. Like I had to borrow from my 401k to pay all my lawyers. Like I said, over $100,000 and just fighting my basic fucking rights to see my kids. And guess what? I won, but it cost a shit ton of money. Like I get my kids every weekend. No, I'm sorry. I get my kids on it every other weekend rotation, and I get we rotate all the holidays, the recess, the spring, and winter recess, summer I get them. So I get my time, and I was able to my house went up for sale, and like in 72 hours it was sold. It was insane, and I had in that house, living in a house for 20 years of memories, 20 years of all my stuff. And I had like 3 days to pack all my stuff and go. And at the time, I was, I went from having to leave my house, living in a one bedroom with my mother for a little while, and then I wound up getting an apartment with a roommate in Hewlett, and then I found an apartment in Valley Stream, and I was living there for a while before I finally got the divorce finalized and the sale of the home, which I was able to get some money. And I was able to buy this little ranch I got right here. But as of now, like anything on Long Island is minimum $500,000, and that's like the cheapest little shoe boxes are going for $500,000. Not to talk about like condos and co-ops, and depending on the locations up and down the island, everything's at like $450, $500 minimum starting. Starter homes $550. Like my home, I got so lucky. When I got this house last year at $465, and by the time I closed on the house, 90 days later, it was reappraised. And it was worth $525. That's how. And so right now, my house is probably worth. I could probably turn around and sell this house. I paid $465 last year. I could probably list it right now at $550. I'm friends with my real estate broker still. Like we keep in touch. But I make friends with everybody. But yeah. Anyway, bouncing around here. I got so lucky. It was almost like it was meant to be. I was able to find this property, and I immediately, took my cash. I got my mortgage right now is the price of like the average cost, like what it costs to rent like a two to three bedroom apartment on Long Island. You're talking $2,800 to $3,500 a month just to rent. So like my mortgage falls right in there. I got so lucky, and right now it's a struggle for me, even though I make good money. I got 3 kids to pay child support for, plus the mortgage. So Yeah, it's a struggle for me. I have my daytime job, which is like I collect my welfare check. And it feels like a welfare check. I'm underpaid, like most of us are. I do the work of like 3 people working for the government. So yeah, I'm severely underpaid. But what was I gonna say? Friggin'. I have a side hustle. It's the only way I can keep things afloat. I have this mobile car wash business that I've been doing for several months now. It's making pretty decent money. Where I have a mobile car wash system. You book an appointment with me, and I go to your property, and I do a car wash, wax, full detail. I have different price plans, and I've been doing pretty good. And slowly growing from there. But at times it's been, especially now that it's getting colder, like my business is drying up a little bit. So when it's cold, I do DoorDash. Holy crap, I got some crazy DoorDash stories over the last. I mean, I don't do DoorDash a lot, but here and there I have to pick up the slack. I'll do some DoorDashing, and talking about video games. I've been collecting for 40 years, like since the mid '80s, since I was a kid, and I'm starting to part with some of that stuff. So I've sold probably like $800 worth of like retro stuff, and I'm probably gonna just keep unloading over time. I'd rather right now keep a roof over the head and a place for my kids can come and be like a paradise for them and escape from their shit and come see me on the weekends and have like Joey's Playhouse. You know what I mean? Yeah, that means everything to me. I have a little tiny house right here, but it's on a third of an acre, and for Long Island, that's like a nice piece of land. I built myself a little it's like a 16 by 20 metal shed. Put that up not too long ago, and I was able to put like my pool table out here, which I might have some footage to show of that while I'm talking about this stuff right now. But anyway, yeah, a lot is going on over the last couple of years, and then on top of like my struggles with my domestic life, my wife, my family, I was getting some shit at work too, man. Like my chief, like I wound up calling him out one day for like his hypocrisies and like his double standards and all these things. And oh no, you can't question the king. So we had like this whole spat where he disrespected me. And once you disrespect me, in anywhere, I mean, and then I'm gonna give you a little piece back. And he seemed like a little intimidated by that. And we had just like a little altercation at work, And the next day, he had like the federal police at my desk removing me. He had like the 6-month no contact order on me. It was just like a shit show. So I was literally, I couldn't get fired because I didn't do anything. But he's, when it comes to the government, if you're this bureaucracy where if you have like this certain status, you're the king, So anyway, I had to go through like mediators and legal things going on. I contacted my congressman. Long story short, I still have my job, and there's no more no contact order in place. And the guy actually is pretty respectful to me these days. We've gone through like this long circle, we've come full circle. But when I had to go through like the trenches with this guy, and I had to like blow the whistle on him and report some things about this guy, I felt like I was Donald Trump and 32 felonies. I felt like the Trump family being indicted like 500 times by these forces of government, and like the government came after me, and I felt that shit, bro. I had like 17 fact findings on me. They had people investigating my laptop, fleecing my friggin' desk, going through all my shit, man. I swear to God, this is like my government job, man. And after I mean, I went through the whole course, and it all went away. I mean, I could retaliate, but meaning I can get Like I've spoke to a lawyer, and I have like legally I have a case for harassment, and I've had enough with lawyers, and I have enough with being in the courtroom. That I just want peace in my life. So you know, if I sued my job, then I probably would have to leave my job. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just want peace. I'm not gonna, you know, put the shit in the past. We're both moving on, and this guy's like 60,000 years old. Like the guy's gonna retire soon. You know, once this old fart gets out of the way, there'll be some movement. You know, like my deputy chief and other supervisors, or colleagues, we all get along. But this guy is such a piece of shit, man. And eventually he's gonna retire soon, and then we all can move around and fucking, you know, breathe again. Just gotta wait it out, man. Because I do like my federal job. You know, you take the good with the bad. Yeah, so I do. I work by day, do car washes at night, and you know, over the summer, like a bunch of my friends, I'm blessed with a network of great friends locally and great friends within the community. I still keep tabs. I still talk to like Overthink Gaming. He's one of my best friends ever, man. We talk every day. That dude was with me, you know, through my ups and downs. He was like the shoulder that I could lean on when, you know, when I couldn't talk to like my own family members and my own, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, my friend Overthink Gaming, bro. Like that guy was there, like one of my best dudes, man. You know, Alpha Nerd Entertainment. Yo, I haven't been on YouTube much, man. You know, here and there, I've been getting my, like, as far as like the video game community, I have no clue. Like, I'm not even in the algorithm anymore. I just been listening to news and documentaries if I am on YouTube. But, you know, I think I want to get back into the swing of things. Like I said, I want to talk about just life, maybe a little bit of politics, current events, world news, maybe a little bit, sharing opinions. Like I said, talking about what it's like to be a single, divorced man paying child support. Wow, what a scam. What a scam. They get to gaslight you, treat you like shit, and then blow it all up and get paid for it. You know, that's like a recipe, man. That's like one of the flaws we got right now in our legal system that's being exploited. So yeah, I don't know. How do we protect ourselves? What do I tell my son? You know, my son's growing up. I'm gonna tell them, do not get married. I mean, you can have some children, don't marry, or a prenup agreement. I don't know. I'm kind of sour. I went through hell and back, man. It didn't have to be so dramatic. We didn't have to spend so much money. So anyway, you guys have any suggestions on some videos? I mean, I have some ideas. I might just get crack-a-lacking in the next couple of days and start making videos when I squeeze them in. But I still have my turtles. They're in a different location. I have a couple of fish that I've been growing, and I still got my arcade machines. You know, I still have a little game room. I was able to keep most of my stuff, but you know, a lot of my things had to go. Yeah, it's sad. But anyway, yeah, I want to make some great videos. I want to make an Amico video. I want to talk about the Intellivision Amico and my final thoughts on that. And yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear, you know, see you guys down in the comments section below. Let me, you know, say hi to me, all my hardcores that have been following me for all these years. Say hello. And hope to see you guys soon on the next one. Peace out.